everyone, it's Miss Fillion here again, and today I'm going to show you how to add some text to a block that's part of the layout that we made on a page that we created in the previous video on how to make a page in your Mahara portfolio. So the first thing that I need to do is find the page that I want to work with. So I'm just going to go to the same place I went to when I created the page in the first place. I'm just going to go portfolio page. And then I'm going to look in my list of pages, or if I have lots and lots of pages, then I can search based on my title. We already talked about how important it is to make sure that every page has a very accurate title. This will become even more important later when we're putting all of our pages together in an organized collection to hand in at the end of the year. So for now, I have very limited choices. This is the page that we started in the previous video, and now I want to edit it. Notice how if I'm done with the page, let's say this page didn't work out the way I wanted it to, I've made a new page now, I'm happier with the new layout or whatever, then I can also delete it from this main pages page, right? So I can delete anything that's mine. These two pages are not mine. These came from the portfolio in the first place. So this one's mine. It allows me to delete it if I want. I don't want to delete this page. I actually want to edit this page. And it takes me to the main editing page of this particular title page that I wanted to make. Now, to be fair, really what I want to do here is add an image. But I'm going to save that for the next video because I want to show you how to add text to a page in case you need to use that in the future on some of your other pages that you'll be creating for me as the year goes on. So the very first thing we'll learn to do is add text. So I already know that I have a block here that I'm allowed to put one of these things in. I also know that sometimes, depending on what media I'm using, I might even be able to add more than one thing to a block. But for now we'll go with, okay, add one thing to a block. If I forget what my layout looks like, I can go again to edit layout. But what's going to happen is the second I choose something to put here, it's going to tell me what my layout is anyway, because each one of these things has to go in a separate block on the page. So when I click on text, it shows me right away that I only have one block to choose from. This particular page, I chose a layout of one block only, mostly because this is my title page for my entire portfolio. I don't want anything else on this page with it. This will be the first page of my collection, and I just want it to be strictly a title page. I'm not adding a bunch of things like I will to my, let's say, parts of speech page or my story and text page that I do later. So I want to add, I'm just going to tell it that I don't even have a choice. It's not going to give me a choice. As a matter of fact, it's not going to give me a choice here in this case either of where I want to put this text. I'm just going to add a text block to this particular block. So I just go ahead and do that. What I don't need is a block title. This is optional, right? Sometimes you'll want to put a title on your block. So for example, if you were putting in all of your parts of speech evidence one at a time, and you didn't actually write on your image that it was common nouns that the sentence represented, then you might write common nouns here, and then I would know that whatever sentence you're putting here was supposed to be representing common nouns. Now we've gone ahead and put those kinds of subtitles right on our images that we created earlier in Google Slides. Feel free to go back and look at those videos and assignments if you're not there yet, but I'm going to assume that you already know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to not bother to put, well actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it's going to look like if I leave this title here. Right? So let's pretend I want this to be my title page. Now this is, at this point, totally redundant because my page is already labeled this. This is why I'm not going to use a text block to do my title page with, never mind the fact that this is going to be fairly boring. However, you could choose to do this. You do have, notice how you have your tools here, and just like just about every other program that you use that has text editing, they've this is the shrunken toolbar, and then if you want to expand your toolbar, again, look, you don't even have to click on it. Like, don't be afraid. If you put your cursor over things, it often tells you what these things do, right? So you don't even have to click on them yet. Just, again, like every other program, put your cursor over it, figure out which icon is going to do what you need it to do. Right now what we want to do is show all of the editing tools we have, and you can see that you can do everything you can do in Google Docs here, right? You can center things, you can align them to the left or the right, you can make things bold, you can italicize things, you can bullet, you can add links, you can add an image to into this text block. So you don't even have to, you don't need to have 2 blocks on this page to add some text and an image. Your text blocks allow you to add an image as well as text at the same time, and that would be much more efficient. If you add these to separate blocks on your page, then they're spaced quite far apart. This way you can actually put your image and your text quite a bit closer together, and you don't need 2 blocks to do it. So that's a hint there. If you want to add an image and some text at the same time, do it in your text block. Of course, you can change your text color, so just like everywhere else, you can make some decisions there. You can highlight the background of it if you would like. You can choose some different fonts. There's quite a few to choose from. It's not a lot, so if you really want some very specific fonts, then this is why, again, we used previously Google Slides to make our title pages, because we knew that we could add all sorts of fun fonts and themes and colors, etc. But this could work for some of the items that you're going to add over the year. Sometimes just this text box will be good enough, right? You have a number of different fonts. Undo. There's your undo button, by the way. Redo button. You have a number of fonts that you can choose from that might be good enough for what you're doing. I'll just do this for now, just for fun. So let's say I make that impact. Obviously that's way too small. I'm going to go ahead and make it bigger. Notice how you're also limited in terms of font size. So that's another reason why sometimes we might choose to do, if we want to make things super pretty, we might choose to do that outside of Mahara and then bring it in as an image. Again, I'll talk to you about that in the next video, how to do that. Maybe I change the color for fun, right? My theme, is always pink. So I'm going to go with some pink. And, I can do that. I cannot do that. Don't forget to highlight whatever you want. Actually do that too. Right? You can do it back and forth, play with it however you want. And then when you're happy with it, let's pretend I'm happy with this, and I've left this right now. So I'm going to show you what this is going to look like with the block title. Don't forget our page already has a title, and now we're using the same title again on the actual page itself. So if I were really going to do this, I would 100% want to add some sort of image to this to spruce this up so that the page is prettier when the title already says what needs to be said, right? But let's pretend, we could be using a text block for a lot of reasons throughout the portfolio. So let's pretend I'm happy with this. I'm just going to hit save. And then that's what it looks like. And if this is still in editing mode, if I want to see what it's going to look like, so when I when I finally hand it in or add it to my final portfolio, I add this page, I make a collection, I'm going to display the page. And this is what it would look like. So if this is the title of this page. The page is by Bart Simpson. That's me. This is what the text is. There's going to be a comments box, which this will come along with every page. This is where Ms. Fillion will leave you comments if maybe there's things to be tweaked, or maybe I'm going to leave you a comment telling you how creative and organized you're being. Who knows? I may or may not leave comments here. That's something that I can do later. Once I see what it's kind of going to look like, I'm going to notice that this is sitting here. and it looks ridiculous. We don't want that there, nor do we want to write the Great Scavenger Hunt of Spring 2017 yet again. So I realized, okay, I need to edit this page. I don't like how that looks. I'm going to go back, so here, so this, now it's showing that I have a text block here, right? It says text, it shows me these icons. I can choose to just delete this text box entirely, or I can choose to edit it. Maybe I decide that I want this to be more centered, right? So I can go like that and make it centered. What I really want to do is get rid of that. And I don't have to have a title for my block. I can. Sometimes it's really important to caption each thing, especially if you're adding several blocks and they have different ideas in them. Then maybe it is important for you to put a little title here so that each block is very clear. But right now I don't need that, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit save. And now you'll see that it has no title, and I'm totally allowed to do that. And if I display my page, you'll see that that funny little title and the line that went with it is gone now. And now this is my first page of my portfolio. And that's all there is to it for adding a text box. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to add an image to a block. So those title pages that we already made in Google Slides, we're going to use them next. For now, good luck, take care, and bye for now.